The most important thing I've taken from the whole lockdown is learning how to deal with uncertainty and difficult situations. Because personally, I had to do my graduation online. That's not something I would have seen coming if someone had asked me a year ago. But I guess because of how it happened now, I realize that, in life, there are some things that are out of our control. And it's also taught me the importance of, just taking life by the horns and learning anything you want to do and just doing anything. That's why I started the club, and that's why I started reading some things and trying to learn some things online, because we don't have so much time in life to live, and since we've been given like a sort of blessing in disguise where we just get to stay at home for a long amount of time, I just thought that it was important that I use this time to do something important so that in future I can look back and see that I did something productive with